distribution of utilities and all that sort of thing. Maximus report, that determines what that agreement is.
Okay.
So it will change, I think, because they've added the brickwork.
So I need to wait then, cause he should be sending, since we signed that last week, he should be sending all that through and then do
Should
the
be,
resolution.
yeah. Double check what we did last year and what the timing was on it. And there should be a resolution also on the rent for BMV at the West Annex. If you can find when we did that last.
Yeah, cause I think it said 50 cents every 2 years,
Okay,
but we have to notify them now and then it doesn't actually change until June,
okay,
is what the notes say on my reminder.
okay. We have a quote for the server replacement for our camera system, so that we can, maintain what we've got, and the way I understand it, there will be room for additional cameras on this new server. Quote is from Northwestern Ohio Security Systems, total price of $13,282.44. Unfortunately, it's like all the other computer stuff, reaches its end of life. I would move that we approve the upgrade with Northwestern
And I will second.
NO2. Roll call, please.
Roger?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Also got the quote from CBTS for the upgrade on the phone system. one-time charge is $2,240. And then the monthly costs continue the same as they have been all along, $2,480.28. We need to approve the one-time costs, and knowing that the monthly costs are gonna continue. I've moved to approve the upgrade to the phones with CBTS, $2,240.
And I'll second.
Roger,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
which fund?
I think that can be on two, that's a infrastructure.
Yeah, like every time I walk in here, it's like my glasses start fogging up like crazy.
Joe? How are you? What are you doing, Sal? Anywhere in particular?
Two of you up here in the comfy chairs.
Okay. I'll let you have the comfy chair. Yeah.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, how are you today?
Good, good.
Nice to see you again.
Up front. You want two top spots.
You want to set up here?
No, I'll sit right over here by myself.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. There it is. I knew there had to be a piece of paper somewhere. We figured while you guys were here, so. Floor is yours.
Well, last night, we had a meeting, it was relatively large for us, a lot of people came in. There were people for and against, we went ahead and did we went ahead and accepted the resolution, so we plan on pursuing it that way. If, we realize there's a process for them if they want to, if they still wanna go for them, they can do that. And we thought this was a way in our mind to keep it local. We've played it before with our township when I was a representative, where it went through the state, and, it seemed like, once it left our level, once it was down there, it was a done deal. There wasn't a lot we could do, so we look at this as a way to keep it local. If there ends up needing to be a vote, it'll be a local vote instead of a state vote type thing, so this is the way we would like to do it this time.
Okay, and just for the record, your, resolution is to ban any further solar.
And make it a restricted area for anything new.
Okay, and that's the entire township, excluding what's already
The
solar?
rest of the township, yes,
Yep.
The rest of the township that is not solar already.
that's not already planned.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and just to review the process, you are our third township, to request it. We then have to, advertise in the local paper, at least 30 days before a meeting that we're going to vote on whether to, pass a resolution or not. We also have to post it in all the public libraries in the county. And we don't hold a public hearing, we just are advertising the meeting in which we will consider the resolution. So we advertise when we're gonna vote on it, basically. So it'll still be a commissioners meeting, it'll be one of our regular meetings. We're going to do all three townships as separate resolutions, because in the event that somebody files a referendum, if they're all three grouped under one, then all three of them fail. But if we separate them into three, and there's one township that really wants to fight it, but they don't care about the other two, it'll only be that one township that would be affected by a referendum. So, our intention is to hold consider all the resolutions at the same meeting, so we streamline the advertising process and get it all done.
I do have a question about that. So if the particular one that we're already cited on, that's happening in our township, is it if part of that would be in our township, would it be restricted from our township? Our part of it be restricted? Or if it's a bigger overall and it covers a couple of townships that aren't included in it, but it does come into ours, would that?
It'll only affect the part of your township that does not already have solar. So
Okay.
if it's already been to the siting board and the high siting board has accepted the application for whatever areas, or if it's already constructed, that is not included in the resolution to ban solar. It will only be that ground that is not currently under any type of
I mean, I guess my question is, so if another one.
For future stuff.
Yes, if another one came up that was that size, and only part of it was in our township, but it wasn't big enough in our part of the township to be excluded, would or would it not be?
I think they would look at it as the entire project,
They would,
because when
okay.
they file for their permit, they specify where they wanna be.
Right, I know.
And they would not be able to put a portion in a township that has been already.
So when they would file, my thinking is that would not be part of the filing because they know already that it's exempt from.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they couldn't use the fact that they're doing 60% in another township to put 40%
Put some in
yours.
ours.
It doesn't matter,
Okay.
it still wouldn't be allowed.
That was just a thought that I had, that if it did, I mean, we're kind of involved in something like that
Yeah.
now, there are 2 other townships involved.
So, and then the referendum process, once we pass a resolution, it isn't effective for 30 days. And during that 30 days, if someone wants to petition for a referendum, there's a percentage that they
I
need
think
to.
it's like 8%.
Yeah, of the voters in the last gubernatorial election in the county. So, I mean, you think back, that's a lot of signatures they
Yes.
gotta get.
Yes, it
But
is.
if they get those signatures, within the 30 days, then it goes to the county, not just Lynn Township,
Yes.
but the whole county voters at the next regular election.
Which
Which
is
would drag out a little ways.
Where would that be? When would that election, when?
That would be
Probably.
well, it's so many days before that next election, and it's kind of a tight frame there because May is the primary, so if it's 90 days before that, puts it into February, so it would be tight to get it on the primary, most likely it would go to the general election next year.
Okay.
And once that referendum is filed, then our resolution is held in abeyance until the results of the resolution or the referendum are determined.
And whichever one of our 3, it may or may not be all of us,
Yeah.
you could proceed with the others.
Yeah,
if
they would
we
have-
a problem,
there
or
would
vice
have-
versa.
There would have to be a referendum filed individually for each township. So they could
Because
do 1, 3, or any combination.
Because our resolutions are for 3 separate resolutions.
Yeah.
I understood that from
Yeah.
the other day, and that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Very good idea.
So, we will get all of our, that we've got the 3 resolutions now from the townships. So we will get our advertising language together. That will probably involve going with either the state or at least the prosecutor to make sure we get the proper language. And, once we do that, then everything will start on the clock once we get both forms of advertisement in place. So.
And then they have, so in that window, they have a 30-day window before, you have a 30-day window before you can act at all.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have to have everything posted to the public 30 days before, at least 30 days before we have the hearing.
And then anything they might wanna try and do, they can start the process whenever they want, if.
A solar company can start anytime. I just
No, I'm
know
talking about any opposition that we may
They
have.
can't do anything until after we pass our
30
resolution.
days,
That's
so
when
then they
their
have a 30-day window.
starts.
Yeah, that's it, okay, that was a question I had in the back of my mind.
Because they wouldn't be able to circulate a petition or referendum decision that hasn't been made yet.
Gotcha, okay.
What we have to make example, let's say we had everything ready by January 1st.
It wouldn't happen that fast.
No,
But if
it
we
would-
had January 1st, then January 31st, 30 days later would be the deadline, and that's when it would take effect if they haven't filed a referendum by then. That's 30 calendar days, not working or business days.
Okay, all right.
30 days that we have to act with our.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anybody? No, good job, Steve. Yeah, and it's like like I said at the meeting last week, we feel it's a local decision. We agree with you that, you know, let the local people decide. That's why I don't agree with the state's decision that if there's a referendum filed, that the entire township, or the entire county gets to vote. It should, in my mind, it should be the people that are affected that get to vote. But
I
that's not the way
agree
it
with
is.
that, but I understand the process makes it so it's at the county level, you guys have it at the county
Yeah,
level,
yeah.
even though it's for our particular
Yeah.
Yeah,
area, yeah.
that's right.
I understand
In
that.
fact, that's the way it's written.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the sounds of how that'll work out for us, I think, you know, better locally than it would have been if we just let it go on down to the state. Not saying that if it goes ahead and passes, that it doesn't go ahead, and, I mean, it'll go through the rest of that process, and there's still another chance if somebody wants to try and do something about it, it can be done.
Yeah.
I've seen it. But
Hey, so you brought us one copy of.
we did.
Okay.
We appreciate you hearing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, we will get our process started.
All right.
Thank you. And you guys will get notified also, you know, when everything's
Another
gonna take
question,
place.
have you heard from this particular project that's looking to be sited in our township? Have you heard anything from the
What's the
company?
name of the project?
It's Aura.
Aura? Oh, no.
Hey,
No, I haven't heard of that.
We have not seen that.
We had a brief contact yesterday. Ralph did finally talk to him. We had voicemails from a guy who said his intentions were to let you guys know of what they're wanting to do and us also officially. We have not officially heard anything about the project.
And like Tim said, I think in our meeting, we normally don't hear about it until they're well into the whole process, because, you know, as they're gathering acreage, that's all done quietly, and I think, you know, the landowners are required to not discuss it with other people. So by the time we hear about it, it's kind of a point.
And it's been that way for us too. I assume we're about on the same level. They'll let you know, and we'll know kind of all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, we have not heard, but his email or his voicemail to me said that he was planning on talking to you guys and to us officially. He may want to put together a meeting of some kind with us, or I don't know, or publicly. I don't know which way he's gonna go. I didn't recontact him, but Ralph had talked to him, so. And yeah, if you do hear, we'd like to hear, if I don't know if there's a way, I assume we'll hear it right away.
Yeah, if they come in and talk to us, it's a public meeting. We
Okay.
go in closed session to talk to solar people,
Okay,
so, yeah.
all right. Good enough?
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming in this
Thank you very
morning.
much.
Sorry, I should say way more on this, guys.
Some local people. We're coming.
At least you can't be in the parking lot with them.
You got it. Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
I was gonna say, are you
What are the other two townships involved in the resolution?
Dudley and Cessna.
And they all have to be passed individually, right?
Yeah, that's our choice.
Okay.
We're gonna pass them individually.
But they themselves pass their own resolution separately.
Okay.
Logan County grouped all theirs, so when it got to the commissioners, they grouped 16 of the 17 townships together. So it's just a preference, it isn't.
Would you like to have them?
I would. Thank you.
Remember to stamp it. up to Katie and see what language we need for, public notice on that. Um, we'll also need to get those maps of Dudley Township, Cessna Township, and Lynn Township, the portion that is not already in a solar.
I believe Nathan has those for us.
Okay.
I'll verify with him. So only the portions not already solar.
Correct.
Is what you want.
So that'd be from Nathan,
Yeah.
the maps, yeah. See how many numbers are there.
A lot of those.
There's some more.
Victory, Ridgeway, Alger, Ada, Dunkirk, Forest,
Yeah.
Marion Johnson,
Maybe not.
I don't think McGuffey has a library. Roundhead, Alger has one.
No,
Jim. Mike will know, cause he gives money to him every month.
who does?
Mike,
Does he?
yeah, they get local government.
Oh, that's right,
funds.
that's true, no. And again, the maps with the language.
Yep. We also need to send, first class mail notice to the 3 townships, to USB school, Kenton School, I'll have to figure out what school districts there are involved. I don't know. Elgin, I think, comes into Dudley.
Yeah.
Elgin, you said?
Elgin does, yep.
Belgium, that's.
Not very much, but there is a little bit of Elgin in Dudley. Don't know if that includes, we'll have to find out if that includes JVS districts also. 'Cause then we would have, 3 JVS districts. Tri-County, Marion, Apollo,
Apollo and,
Pike. Probably Ada schools, they're in Cessna Township. Ridgemont. Huh? Isn't Ada in Cessna, or is it Cessna? Or does it stop over there? Another thing Mike can tell us.
oh, Roger,
The Elgin.
I will miss that. I will miss that. I will miss that.
There are no incorporated villages
so if we get everything put together by December 17th, then the quickest time we would have
You can go out there,
January.
go for discussion,
Yeah.
discuss
And
this.
we've got the rest of this week and all of next week to get everything together.
To have it at that time frame.
Yeah, so I think we'll have plenty of time to do that. What'll take the longest is getting wording from the prosecutor. Morning, Steve.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, Steve.
Hello. No Tim today, huh?
What's that?
No Tim today?
No, he is down in the happiest place on earth right now.
Is that Florida?
Yep.
Free state of Florida?
Yeah. His family loves Disney.
So I'm here today, last week I was doing requesting an additional appropriation of funding from the sale of the 2015 vehicle, $15,500. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, why not just ask you guys to potentially consider reducing the amount that I owe you guys for the vehicle that we purchased, what month was this? In August. Currently, I owe you guys $57,000, and if you guys would approve modifying that dollar amount by $15,500, the new amount would be $41,500. And instead of me getting an appropriation this year, basically we're reducing the price I owe you for next year on that vehicle. So that's something you guys would consider.
We talked with Mike, we got your letter requesting the funds that you sent to Mike. It's long been our practice that whenever a vehicle is sold, that the money reverts into the general fund. There's a specific account for sale of county properties. And it never gets sent back to the agency or the department that it came from. You know, we generate a revenue fund, or a revenue budget, and then the sale of assets goes into the general fund, and we don't then make an additional appropriation. The sheriff sells a car, county engineer sells a vehicle, you know, those, we don't.
You guys,
Make any
so you guys have never refunded that money to the department who paid for it in the first place?
No.
Okay, I was misled. I mean, misinformation.
And it's been consistently done that way. We've
Now,
had several.
you know, I can't say what, you know, they may have done 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's always been my understanding that whenever something is sold, that it goes into the fund that it came from. In this case, it's a general fund, because you're a general fund
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
But the departments never get that additional appropriation back because it's not actually new revenue. And, you know, we got a new statement from the auditor, and you're doing well this year for your budget, and you got a substantial increase next year, so. It might be something different if you were, you know, really strapped for money and you couldn't meet payroll, but.
Yeah, that'd be a different conversation.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I was just misled. My understanding was that money would come back to the department, and that's the reason I was proposing this
Yeah.
as a possibility.
Yeah, and we have this discussion occasionally. Other department heads forget, they want the money back, so we just try to be consistent.
That's fair enough. I appreciate your guys' time.
Yep.
Trying to keep my code that I recently received, and I'll stay away from you.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you guys have a good day.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some news from the prosecutor on language. Get things going so when Tim gets back, it's just official. is it, Joe?